The cough impacts my day every day. There isn't one breath that I take where I don't feel like I have to cough. The urge to cough is always there. And I have to use all of my breathing techniques in order to suppress that cough all day. I limit how much I speak because it uses up too much oxygen and creates the cough. I love to laugh, and I can't laugh anymore because it causes me to cough. Sorry. There's a lot of ways this impacts me every day.
Idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis is a confounding disease. It's incredibly difficult on patients. It's not very well understood even after 40-some years of research. We still don't know a lot about the disease. It's still called idiopathic because we don't understand what causes it. And it's a disease that causes massive scarring in the lungs. The scarring continues over time. It's progressive. It gets worse over time, and eventually the lungs fail.
It's hard to convey. I've learned to say to people, anyone, including my doctors and nurses and whoever, is imagine having a really bad pneumonia or bronchitis, and you're at the end of it and you're exhausted, but you can't stop the cough. It keeps you up at night, interferes with everything. Imagine never getting over it, ever. That is how I feel. And I do describe it that way, and hopefully they're hearing that. And I get a lot of compassionate looks and nods and pats on the back, but no answers.
You can talk about it, but I don't know how they can relate unless they've had asthma or they've had a really bad cold, where they cough all the time and experience what that's like. And there's some relationship there, I think, between that and my cough. And the difference is that mine is a lifetime cough. It's an every day, every hour, every minute. It's something that you deal with.
First, you're hoping it doesn't get huge. You want to protect people around you because they're startled. It's drawing attention. You're humiliated. You don't know what's going to happen, so you're scared. Sometimes I think, oh my God, my lung's going to collapse. I'm going to break a rib. I'm going to pass out, because you actually feel yourself blacking out because you have no air left, nothing. And it's very hard to get that back. And so you need somewhere to recover, to sit down, get quiet, get control, get all your practices in place, and that's not always easy to do.
Kind of destroys your life, really, in a lot of respects, from where you used to be, in a fairly quick manner. So it's really hard to adjust to that. And for all your environment around you to adjust to it too, so they have an understanding of, of what you're going through. Yeah, in every way. It impacts my relationships, it impacts my energy levels, my stamina, my friendships. Anything I try to do, it impacts it. I've lost the ability to do a lot of things that I used to do that were fun, and I just can't do them now. It's not worth the effort to try to do those and have to suffer through the coughing after that. So you just give them up.
Like family gatherings, I rarely go because I go for short periods. But I know if I'm talking, I'm going to be starting to cough, and it's going to disrupt a whole group. And if they're playing a game, watching a movie, doing something together, I'm going to be the one that's disrupting that.
Well, I can't communicate very easily with people because I'm always trying to control the cough while I'm at the same time trying to say something. Physically, I can cough hard enough and long enough that it affects my ribs, so there's pain. cough seems to come on its own at any particular time. I would think that it would come on after I did something physical, but that's not the case. And sometimes it's just a little bit of coughing, and I can control it. Other times, the coughing is so bad that I almost feel like I have to vomit.
There's a lot of things, certain foods. I didn't realize that I couldn't eat pickles anymore until I was out to dinner with my son and his wife, and I took a bite of a pickle, and it caused a very aggravated cough that then is startling to everyone around you, and then it's hard on me because it's very draining, and then you're embarrassed in public to be coughing like that.
I think also cough is one of the most frustrating things for patients and physicians, because sometimes despite treating all the secondary things that you have, it's just there's not a lot that we have available besides supportive care and some over-the-counter medications. And despite us really wanting to help our patients the best we can, sometimes we can't make a huge impact on their cough.
We think that it's important that when a patient comes in who has known pulmonary fibrosis, that we're investigating the different contributors to their cough. Often it's assumed that that cough is solely related to the lung scarring, and more often than not, it may be related to other common causes of chronic cough, things like reflux, postnasal drip, airways disease. And so here we're very diligent about looking up and trying to identify all the potential causes of cough.
We try to use the supportive medications that we have, over-the-counter medications. We also use speech therapy sometimes to try to help offer cough-suppressive speech therapy, and that can help. And so I try to provide as much medical supportive care as I can, but then also understanding, because it is difficult to live with chronic cough.
If they're in the midst of a very bad coughing fit, it is terrible to see because they're already short of breath, and when you're coughing, you're not getting good ventilation, and so you can see them become very symptomatic in terms of their breathlessness, and it's very difficult to see. It's difficult to watch, so it makes you even more motivated to try and help them not have these events.
All patients with IPF have stories that break my heart, right? It's a progressive fibrotic interstitial lung disease, and these patients are loved and cared for by their families, and I love and care for them too, and I think all of them have stories that break your heart about either cough or breathlessness or the inability to do things that they once did before, or the need to use oxygen when they didn't have to use oxygen before. And that's part of the heartbreak of idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis and why we need more therapies for this devastating disease.